I'll read. So today I'm going to run through the first income stream idea for 2023. It's a value betting system, an automated value betting system called Each Way Sniper. I've been using it since the start of November, and I'm going to run you through exactly how it's been going and whether we've made a profit, and if so, how much. Stay tuned. So just a quick disclaimer before we get started on Each Way Sniper. I have put a link to the software in the description. It is an affiliate link, so if you do use that link, then it would be greatly appreciated. It won't cost you any more money to use that link, but it will give me a little bit commission, which will help to run the new cannydrifters.com website. Another link in the description. And it will also provide a little bit income that will help go towards these systems that obviously you have to pay for. That greatly appreciate it and support the channel. Thank you very much. Cheers. Right, so this is the main screen, the interface. It does only run on a Windows PC, laptop or PC, but has to be Windows 10 or 11. I'm not sure about before 10. And it does need to be sort of running all day during the racing, and it's probably also beneficial to have it in the foreground. So basically what I'm saying there, it's going to tie up a machine. If you haven't got that, you can try using a VPS, but the VPS needs to be reasonably well spec'd. I've tried it on a VPS and it does work, but I'm in Spain at the moment, so that's why I've been doing that. So you can see from the main interface all the bets it's placed. This is just since the 1st of January going down, and you can see how many bets it's getting on each day. All those there are the 1st of January. You can scroll down and see all the remaining bets. You can see there where it changes to the 2nd and the 3rd. It didn't get many on the 2nd. And what it does, it places these bets automatically, and what it also does is it records the results automatically. So it knows that it put that bet on there, and then it records the result as a loss, and we lost £5. You can see I'm putting £2.50 each way on each bet. This is all configurable by bookies, and you configure the bookies that you want to use as well. This is kind of the range of bookies you've got here at the top. I haven't got certain bookies like Bet365 set up because those accounts are quite healthy. I've got 2 Bet365 accounts and they're quite healthy, so I don't really want to jeopardize those, because obviously doing this can have an effect on your accounts. So it is advisable as well that you use gubbed accounts to some degree. Use gubbed accounts, because as long as they're not state restricted, you should still be able to put the amounts on there. So like accounts where you might have lost any promotions. I mean, if you want to use healthy accounts, then that's fine as well, but just be warned that it could have an effect on the account health at some point. Obviously, any kind of betting system, if you start making money, you're going to run into problems with bookies gubbing you. So if we move on to the settings, you just click on the setting button up there. This is the Sniper Bets username and password you get when you get signed up to the system. You can set the minimum rating for a value bet. It's set by default to 100. Some people up that to 102, 105. I've just left it at 100 because it's been working pretty well. Refresh rate, it'll refresh your bets every 60 seconds, and I'll show you that in the next screen, how that affects that. The number of bets per minute is set to 1. So basically what it does, when it puts a bet on, you sit and watch, and it'll flick into one of these tabs, and it will you'll actually see it place a bet. So it's like a bit of a macro system where it's doing the key presses for you, and then it puts the stake. You see it put the stake in, you see it click submit, and then the bet goes in, and then when you go back to your betting log, you can see a new bet as long as it's succeeded. The reasons it could fail is you might not have enough money in your account. The odds might have changed, was probably more realistic. The number of bets per race, I've put that to a maximum of 8. I think the default was 5. And the reason I've upped it a bit is because you typically get on with different bookmakers down here. So you never put like 8 bets on the same race with the same bookmaker. It's always split across a few. The number of bets per day I've set to unlimited, so I can put as many as I want on. You can set that to say 10 if you only want to put a maximum of 10 bets on per day, depending on your bankroll. And the number of bets per bookie, 15 per day. So that's, for example, Sky Bet. I put a maximum of 15 on per day. And again, that's sort of related to health of your account as well. You don't want to be putting hundreds of bets on for a bookie per day. I think the default might be unlimited, but I want to check that and put that in 15. All these are definable, obviously, so you can tweak those as you go. One other thing I like to do is show error logs. So if you click on that button there, you can see that the screen's half now, and this is a list of errors that come up each day. And it just shows you it's potentially going to show you any issues you haven't putting bets on with specific bookies, and then you can go in and check what the issues are. I just like to have that on in case I'm not getting on many bets. I can have a look at the error log and see if there's been any errors. You can paper trade as well if you don't want to spend any money initially. You can paper trade and have a look to see how you would have done, but I would highly recommend just diving in and doing 25 pence each way or even 10 pence each way to begin with, rather than paper trading, although it is an option. So moving on to the bookies then, you can see if I click on Bet Victor, these ticked ones are the ones I'm actually using. So you can see the list of different bookies here. I'll go down the list first. So you've got starting from 10bet, and you go all the way down. That's the list of options you've got currently in the UK for placing your bets. It's compatible with all these bookies. Okay, and once I've ticked, I've got it set up. You can just add one at a time, and you can just, you don't have to set them all up initially. But then you've got the username, password for your bookie account, and then for each bookies, you can set the total each way stake. So what I'm doing here is £2.50 each way. So each bet I'm putting on is £5. So up here you can see that's how I'm losing £5 when I've got a loss. Minimum, maximum odds as well. This is kind of donkey derby settings. I've got minimum odds of 7 up to a maximum of 100. So I'm not even looking at any kind of favourites. It's always 7 decimal is 6 to 1 fractional. So I'm looking at horses 6 to 1 or over to win the race. So that is, I'd class that as like outsiders. And the reason you do that is because that's where you get the value from. So when you do win, you win quite a substantial amount of money on a small bet. Even on a place there, I mean, the places depends on the odds. But you see there, place I only won 75 pence, and that's because the odds were only 7.5. Whereas that place there won £17.50 because the odds was 41 and it got placed. So that's what you need to bear in mind as well, is these are the sort of recommended settings. You can go a lot lower than that. Some people I know do more like more lean towards the favourites, where you're going to get a lot more places and a lot more wins, but then your winnings and your place profits are going to be a lot lower values. And I'll show you the results later on in the spreadsheet that I've put together. So you set these up, and you obviously set these values here different for each bookmakers. I've actually set them up all to be exactly the same, £2.50 each way and 7 minimum odds and 100 maximum. And then you just click on the save button if you make any changes to any of the bookies. Then in the exchanges, I've just left all those alone. They're just all ticked. That's how it works out. That's how the software works out. What's the value of bet and what isn't, and that's where it gets this rating from. It looks at the averages of the odds against these exchanges, compares them with the bookies, and where the bookies are offering discrepancies where it's value compared to the exchanges. That's when it'll appear as a value bet and try and place the bet. Okay, so that's the settings there. I'll just cancel out of that. Right, so I've clicked the run button here. I haven't recorded that because it can take a couple of minutes to log. It basically goes into each bookies and logs in for you. You can see where we've got the word logged here at the top of each bookies. That's the ones we're logged into. So if I click on, say, William Hill there, you can see I'm logged into that account there, ready to start placing bets. Ladbrokes the same, logged into that one. So what I want to go through now, it's all set up, it's running, so if there's any bets come through, it'll place them. So if anything starts happening and jumps around and starts placing bets, you'll just have to bear with me during the video. That's just going to be a live thing that will happen. If I go to each way sniper, this is the main screen. I can see there was two bets there that have just disappeared, unfortunately. So this is where it's constantly monitoring to see if there's any value bets, and when there is, they'll appear in here. Now there is in manual version of each way sniper. There's a bet there. Sorry, just to interrupt. There's a bet there with Bet Victor. Now I'm logged into Bet Victor, so by all accounts it should they see it there. It's just move to Bet Victor to try and place that bet. We'll just watch it there. So it's doing Parvos at 9-1 here on the right hand side. It should put 250 in there, which it has, and then it places a bet there, and you can see it's submitted. I'm not touching anything here, by the way. That was it done. And what it'll do there is it'll just stay on that screen now until another bet comes through. And this is why you're probably best leaving the software running in the foreground so you don't have any issues with it. That's one of the main disadvantages, having to run it on a Windows PC and having to run in the foreground all the time. It kind of ties the machine up. I wouldn't start doing any serious work on this machine while it was doing this all day. That's the issue. Excuse me. So it's placed that bet, so I'm happy enough now. I can go back. Actually, if I go back to the betting log and go right down to the bottom, I should see that bet. So you can see there, it's the first bet of the day on the 16th of January with Bet Victor. That's the race meeting. We can make that a bit wider so you can see it's the 1350 and it's Parvos and it's paying out on the first three places. The value bet wasn't massive, great value, but was 100.23. It's probably one of the lower ones. And you can see we got on it decimal odds of 10, fractional odds 9-1, and we placed £2.50 each way, so a total of £5. Obviously that's showing zero there, but once it gets to about 15-20 minutes after the race is finished, this will get updated with an L for loss, a P for place, or a W for win, or N if it's a non-runner, and this all updates automatically. You can see here, these are all the bets now for that I've done in January, and you can see the profit here is £334 just for January. So if I just go back to the each way sniper screen again, which I was showing you, so the bets appear in here. Like I was saying before that one interrupted there, there's a manual version of each way sniper where I'm not sure, it should be a little bit cheaper for the subscription, but you have to come in and place the bets manually. The bets appear here, and you can click on actions here to go into the bookies and then place your bets manually. To be honest, that's not for me, because you'd have to sit and spend sort of the whole racing day checking for this. I'll try and reload there, see if there's anything new, because it only checks every 1 minute, which is based on the settings that we've done on the settings screen. No, it's nothing. It's only 9:20 on Monday morning, so these will drip through during the day, and it varies how many bets you get on, because obviously it depends on what value bets are available on a specific day. Saturdays are normally quite good for getting a lot of bets on, but you don't necessarily win a lot on a Saturday, but you sometimes do. Obviously, you don't win more bets you don't win more profit based on the number of bets you put on. You just have to have the sort of averaging out of the variance to get the actual high winners. You can see here as well, I've highlighted it, showing you here the extra places. So they're always good races to get on, because they pay out up to the top like 5 or 6 sometimes, instead of like 3 places. So that's that screen there. To be honest, you don't need to look at this screen when you're using the auto version. This is for the people who are using it manually. But the auto version just takes this manual system here and just adds on the extra functionality to go in and place your bets at the top here. So what I'll take you through now is the results. Okay, so with regards to the results, obviously the first point of call, you can come here for the results. You can see we've made £334 in January. You can have a look up. You can see all the losses. You're obviously going to lose a lot more than you actually get placed or win. Win, you're looking about between 5 and 6%, or 5 and 7, say. Place, I think you're probably looking at about 30%, so 1 and 3, 33, 35%. And then all the rest will be losses. The idea is the places kind of, when you do get them, I've got 5 in a row there. When you do get them, they kind of iron out or cancel out the losses. But then when you get the wins, that's where you're actually making the good money. So you're looking basically, and what I'm looking for is a donkey to actually win a race, and that was odds at 12 to 1. You see it all the time though, to be honest. And if you go up here, you can see, if you stop at any W's, there's £21 there. That's the biggest win I've had. It was 66 to 1 shot and a £198 profit off it for £2.50 each way bet. Well, obviously, that's only once in a blue moon, if you like, but it doesn't half sort of bump the balance up. So that is the biggest win I have had while I've been doing this for 3 months now. Well, 2.5 months. So you can see as I go up here. So what you can do, and what I was doing to start with in November, I was exporting data every day from here, because there's an option here. If you go log it and export the log, and then you can clear it, click and clear all these results here. What I'm doing now, though, is I'm running for a month, starting January. I'm running for a month, letting it run all the way through January, and then I'm going to export the whole January in one go. It was just taking too much admin time exporting the data each day. I changed it weekly initially, but then it was just remembering to do it and then sorting out the spreadsheet. So what I have got a spreadsheet here. Now this is a summary. Ignore this row at the bottom for the moment. This is November and December. Now in November, I actually started only placing, when I started, I was only placing 25 pence each way bets. So that was the average stake was 50 pence. I placed 514 bets in November, totaling £257 worth of stakes. These numbers seem high, but don't worry too much about it. You don't actually need that much in your bankroll. I would recommend, if you've got, like, say, £100 bankroll, probably something along the lines, and I'm no financial expert, and you need to look up information online about gambling and betting bankrolls. I would recommend having about £100 and just betting 1% of your stake, which is £1 each bet. That should see you through using this system, I would have thought. So the profit I made was £92 in January. Now, that doesn't include anything taken off for the subscription fees, which I'll go on to shortly, for the software, because that's not all profit. That's your sort of gross profit. Then you take the subscription fees off to get your net profit. But as you can see, out of the 514 bets, only 35 won, 146 were placed, and 314 lost. And there were 12 non-runners. So the strike rate there for winners is 7.42%, which is the 35 winners divided by the 514 bets gives us the 7.42%. The strike rate for winners and places, which is these two numbers here, is 35%. So that's 35% of the total, and then the remainder is the rest. So the return on investment is simply the profit we made. So we made £92 profit off an investment of £257, which is 36%, which is absolutely crazy numbers. And I was happy as Larry. I was going to say something else there. I was happy as Larry when I got the end of November and I realised I'd made £92 off just placing 50 pence bets. And I've got the bets down here as well. I've got all the bets, because when you export them, we're placing a bet here. Sorry, just bear with me a second. As you can see, I've still got each way sniper running, so it just jumps in and places that bet. So it's just done that there. So sorry, if I just go back to the spreadsheet, that might happen a few times in this video. Apologies. I need to keep it running though, just to sort of keep my bets going today. Unfortunately, I'm just recording on the same machine because I've just shown you the each way sniper software. I've lost my trail of thought there. So yeah, anyway, so we made £92 profit off £257 worth of bets, which is a phenomenal return, basically. When it hit December, things got a little worse. You can see the return on investment is only 8.36 there. I say 8.36, you're not going to get that kind of return at any bank or anything, or any. It'd have to be a good investment. Even stocks and shares would need to be good to beat 8.36% at the moment. We did have a £91 profit, which was only slightly lower than November, but we did stake a lot more. What I actually done was I upped the stakes from 25 pence each way to 50 pence each way, I think it was initially, for the first 14 days of December. And then on the 15th, I wasn't winning as much. So I upped it to £2.50 each way on the 15th of December. I can show you that in the betting sheets and in the bet sheets in a minute. the main reason for the problems in December, and I think it applied to a lot of betting systems out there in December, was the weather. There was a real cold weather, I heard. I'm actually sitting in Spain at the moment, so I heard there was some real cold weather in December in the UK. Sorry to hear that. However, it did affect a lot of the race, and there was a lot of meetings cancelled last minute. There was some meetings, I think, that took place, if my memory serves right. There was some meetings that started and that didn't finish, and then you've got like 3 days of holiday leading up to Christmas Day in the UK as well, where there was no racing whatsoever. So it meant we got less bets on, and there was a lot of unpredictable results as well because of the weather. You can see here we had 28 non-runners compared to 12 in November. We still had 19 winners, 117 places, and 233 losses out of those 397. So the strike rates here, it's 5%, is 2.5%, nearly 2.5% lower. And the strike rate for the wins and places, these two numbers here, isn't too much lower. It's still about 1.5% lower, but it did affect the return on investment, where we only made £91 out of a total investment of 1,097. However, when you look at it, we did make 92, roughly £92 profit each month. If we look at the average, it's £92.22, so we made £184.43 profit, which is there. Now, that's on a total stake of 1,354. That gives us a total ROI over the 2 months of 13.62%. So there's the stats there for you. This row here is the current state of play in January. I just put this in for this video. I will be doing a monthly update on this at the end of the month. So at the end of January, start of Feb, I'll bring you an update where we'll have a third row in here for January. And then we'll have revised figures, and we'll see how good that is, because this is obviously only up until including the 13th. But at the moment, up until the 13th of January, we've placed, which is the record still that you can see in Each Way Sniper software. We've placed 180 bets. We've got £900 worth of stakes. I'm putting £2.50 each way on from what you've seen on the each bet. And currently we're running at a profit of 356.75. That's, if I just flick screens, that's actually gone down a little bit because we didn't do very well on Saturday and Sunday, I believe. So I'll go down. Yeah, so we're running at 334 at the moment, and we've had a few more bets because the spreadsheet only goes up until includes the 13th. So that's the last bet here. This bet Victor one for last stand. So all these ones down below haven't been recorded in the spreadsheet yet. So profit's gone down about £20 over the last 2 days. We've had 11 winners, 58 places, and 108 losers out of the 180. And we've had only 3 non-runners. So you can see the non-runners is quite low compared to, well, certainly compared to December. I'm probably looking, based on we're nearly halfway through January, based on even November, it looks like it's going to be a little bit lower. Strike rate somewhere in between. We've got a winning strike rate of 6.51%, and we've got a really good strike rate for the winning places. We've had quite a few high proportion of places, so it's 38.33. And our return on investment so far, we've made £356 out of £900 worth of bets, which is absolutely crazy numbers at the moment. And it's basically to do with that £198 winner. But the return on investment is currently 39.64%. Obviously, that has gone down a little, but I'm still expecting it to climb a little by the end of the month. But even if it doesn't, these numbers are absolutely great for even, unless we lose an absolute fortune between now and the end of the month, which based on the last couple of months, I can't see happening. So in a nutshell, with these figures, I'm really happy with the performance of this system. If I show you some of the bet sheets, you can see here, this is November. And if I go right to the top, just scroll up manually here. You can see in the 1st of November is when we started, lost 5. So this is just this is how the data comes out of Each Way Sniper, and I just put it into the spreadsheet and then analyze the data. That's how I've got the profit and loss summary here, by using the bets from that sheet here. which I can't get back onto. So if I highlight this profit and loss column here, you can see that the sum is £92.67. So that's all your pluses and negatives. Comes to a positive 92.67, which is just what the sum is in this sheet here, 92.67. So there's no witchcraftery or jiggery pokery going on here. It's just pure bets. Sorry, as you can see, in November I was only placing 25 pence bets each way, so that was 50 pence per race. So when I had a loss, it was only 50 pence. That was because rather than paper trade, I thought I would just jump in and try and do some low bets. I don't mind. If you've got to remember on these systems is don't invest any more than what you could prepare to lose. And I was happy enough if it didn't work out was to lose 50 pence a bet. I was going to say a race there, but you can put multiple bets on a race. At the start of December, I upped that to 50 pence each way, so it was £1 per bet. So here I was losing £1. Again, if I highlight this column here and look at the total, it's 91.76, which relates to this 91.76 here. And these are every single bet. Like I say, all above board, all transparent, and you can see the ratings here. So you can analyze this data whichever way you want. You can actually collate by bookies. You can do pivot tables by bookies and see which bookies, how many bets you put on each bookies and what the profit and loss is for each bookies as well. I haven't actually done that. It's something I might do, but I haven't bothered at the moment because I'm not sure there's going to be that much. It's all, when you think about it, it's luck really whether these donkeys win. However, it's not luck in the fact that over the long term, you should see a profit. There's no reason why you shouldn't, because the odds are stacked. The odds are in your favour, albeit over the long term. So if I go down to the 15th of December, you can see I was putting 50 pence each way on. So yeah, Sky Bet, I had a good account here, so I could only put 25 pence on each way, and I think B-Win was the same. They restricted my bets to 39 pence each way for some reason. But you see here, I started on the 15th, putting £2.50 each way on, which is what I'm still currently doing in January. So I turned B-Win off. Sky Bet, I started using a different account. I can't be sure. I think B-Win was already at 39 pence each way bet. There's a B-Win one there for 39 pence each way. I can't be sure, but I think B-Win was definitely on 39 pence each way before I started using the software. And I can't be sure about the Sky Bet one. What I do know is I lost 888 Sport. I was doing some bets on 888 Sport in November, and what they actually did was, because I was placing so many bets, they took the each way flag off, so the software couldn't take the each way flag, so I couldn't place an each way bet. It's like a sneaky gubbin. So I just turned them off in the software. I don't use 888 Sport for this anymore. It's strange because I can still use all the promotions and stuff on 888 Sport. They've just, I don't know, it seems a one-off with them. They've, like I say, they've just sneakily turned off the each way flag. So when you're placing a bet, you can't click on each way. So you can only place a bet to win. It's ridiculous behaviour considering, like I say, if you start winning money off the bookies, they just do anything they want. They've got their own sort of law, really. They claim all this, like, oh, don't gamble, don't do this, don't do that, but they're just in it for themselves, basically. So moving on to January, this is where I've only got down until the 13th. I exported the data a couple of days back now just to do this quick analysis. So you can see, yes, the data that relates there to the last stand, which was the last horse we saw on the 13th in the software. I will replace this whole sheet with the full January data come the end of January, and we'll see where we stand there. So I just want to show this last sheet, which is a chart by day. So on the 13th, we placed 15 bets. The profit was £82.50, and our cumulative profit since the 1st of November was then running at 541.18, which is basically the 290 odd quids plus the 300 and odd quid for January adds to that. You can see there that was the Christmas break where we had no betting at all. 3 days leading up to Christmas, including Christmas Day. We've had a bad day there, £42 down. We had a great day there, probably one of the best, if not the best, £205 up on 25 bets. And you get this, you get this. So if you go up here, I've put a chart in, and you can see how the profits just flew through the roof recently. Now, we don't know if that's good luck from here to here or whether it's just variance, but you can see there's our big winning day of £205. We had a reasonable loss there, but you can see the losing days. There's two here. I can't quite see what they are because the axis is in the way. No, I'd have to go back and see. That'll be the £42 one there, and that looks about the same, about 40 odd quid. I think change this axis around so I can hover over these bars, negative bars, and see how much we've lost. But you can see when we do lose, we tend to lose like small amounts, and we tend to have quite a few more winning low amount days. But then you do get the odd day where you get one or two really good winners. Like that would have been the £198 winner there. So you can see over and above, we only made about an extra £7 on top of that. But it does not shoot this total cumulative profit up. You can see to start with, because it's the variance work, and we actually went negative for a while, even like first sort of week in. Even by, say, the second week, by the 15th of November, we were still just shown as zero. You've got to just bear with the system at that point there. So that's one negative there. And then the other negative is here, where we got to quite a high. Bearing in mind this was still just sort of 25 pence each way bets, although the start of December did start 50 pence each way. And then there's the 15th of December when I changed it to £2.50, and it dropped dramatically. And the reason for that, I think it was just a bad luck run. But you've got to bear in mind that that can happen. You can have troughs as well as peaks. But since this trough here, it's just flew up. But you can see that this went from on about the 15th of December, we were running at £108 profit. Sorry, it's placing another bet, folks. You'll just have to bear with me a second. Right, that's finished there now. Just sorry about that. Just jump back to the spreadsheet. So yeah, that's when we changed to £2.50 each way. Unfortunately, just sod's law. And you can see the actual cumulative profit by the 20th of December had gone all the way down to £7. Now that was obviously a bad run of a few days. If I go back to the 15th of December on here, you can see there we had a minus 23 on the 16th. This was since that changed. I remember the actual period that week. It wasn't my birthday on the 15th. That was probably something to do with it. So you can see how the numbers dropped there substantially down to £7 from 108. And I was thinking, oh God, this doesn't seem very good. But it was just a run of bad luck across those bets. So we had 65 bets there, and I'd hazard a guess and say there was probably no winners. And you just have to ride it out, basically, because it does turn in your favour. Well, the figure shows so far. But I'm interested to see how if this continues to climb at that rate from there. I would expect some troughs like that, but that year represents a really, really bad run of 65 bets and about 4 or 5 losing days on the belt, and it's by far the worst we've had. So even if that was replicated up here, it would only drop it down here somewhat and then hopefully climb again. So that's just something you need to bear in mind. I'm just highlighting. I'll put an average line on here for the end of month update, which will probably show something like going up that way where my mouse is going now. I didn't think of putting one on, but you can see how it's went up here. So we'll put that on. Right, so that is the first overview and review of each way sniper system. I hope you've enjoyed it. Just going on to the price finally. The price is £30 per month. So when I've made £90 in November and December, take the £30 off, I've still made £60 profit. January, I won't have the final figures until the end of the month, obviously, but obviously we're running at over £300 profit for this month because we've increased the stakes. So the more the more you can actually get on this, the better, because the £30 becomes a smaller percentage of the actual profit you're making. But yeah, £30 a month, or you can do £200 for the year. So if you can afford the £200 per year, I would definitely recommend that one if you can afford it. Reason being is it would only work out at £16.67 per month, which is nearly half price basically compared to 30. However, if you want to follow me, I just done the £30 per month, but obviously you're spending more. You would have to use it for a year. The reason I jumped in at 30 and why you might want to yourself is because you can play it month by month, which there's nothing wrong with that either. That's just the two options you've got. So I hope you've liked this one. Again, if you have, I'll put the links in the description for the software, or the link in the description for the software. It would be very much appreciated if you could use that link. Like I say, you won't save any money, and you won't save any money elsewhere. To be honest, it will just give me a little bit commission to help support the channel and do more of these videos and different ideas and pay for other things. And obviously, I'm being as transparent as possible here. I'm not wanting to recommend sort of rubbish or BS systems. If I do pay for any BS systems and come across any BS systems, I'll be sure to do a video on them and call them out. But as it goes, this is my 100% transparent review of this software and how it's gone so far. And just a final disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor or anything. Don't put into these systems more than you can afford to lose. You can see how it's worked for me. I'm going to have a little bit of profit each month from this, and it's just going to be one of the multiple income streams that I'm going to use going forward. I will do an update each month on this system so you can see how I'm getting on. If I get multiple losses per month, I will ditch it off the driftometer, but it's going to be the first thing to go on the driftometer. And the driftometer is just basically going to be a spreadsheet each month listing each income stream and how well it's doing, or how well it's done, or how well it hasn't done each month. And we'll go into that in more detail when I do some videos on that. Okay, that's it. Thanks for now. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the system if you do sign up to it, and I'll bring you another update on this one at the end of January. Cheers now. Bye.